Hi, I'm Rebecca Rodriguez, Program Coordinator at the Institute for Disaster Mental Health at SUNY New Paltz. I'll be the observer in this scenario and will provide feedback at the end. In our scenario, a very virulent strain of influenza has been spreading nationally and an outbreak has begun on a college campus. This strain has been particularly dangerous for young, healthy people. In collaboration with the local Department of Health, a point of dispensing called a pod has been set up in the campus gym to administer flu vaccinations to students. This scene takes place in a break room near the pod. Our client is a public health nurse who has been administering the vaccination for hours. She's sitting at a table with a cup of coffee, shaking her head and muttering angrily to herself. A colleague enters the room, sees her, and starts a conversation while she gets her own cup of coffee.
Hey, Kathy. I haven't seen you since we were setting up this morning.
Hey, Martine, how are you?
Yeah, it's crazy out there. How's it going with the shots?
Boy. Not great, honestly, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm fine.
You don't
It's
look
fine.
like it's fine.
I'm fine.
Do you mind if I sit down and join you?
Please.
Thanks. Thank you. So, you look very stressed out. What's going on out there?
It's nothing. I'm just really frustrated with the whole situation.
But you seem very stressed out. Did something happen?
No, it's just a bunch of things.
Well, I'm here. I'm listening. Tell me
Okay,
about it.
well, first of all, it's 1,000,000 degrees in that gym. It's no wonder the students keep fainting by the time they stand in line for an hour and then get their shot. And it's certainly no more comfortable for, the staff members that are in there for hours at a time.
Yeah, I spoke with the administrator, but they said that there's really not much they can do. By the time they turn it down and we'd feel any effect, the day would pretty much be over. So there's really not much we can do to fix it. But you know the rules. We can try and sort of take care and stay hydrated. Are you staying hydrated? Taking care of yourself?
I am. They're bringing cold water around, and that's very helpful. But it also doesn't help that I'm sharing my station with Nurse Cranky, who is spending way more time whining about things than actually working. If he
Yeah.
would just do his job, things would move through a whole lot more quickly. But, listen to me. I've obviously picked up on his attitudes.
Well, I could talk with somebody about maybe rotating your shift so you wouldn't have to be working with him.
Let me think about that. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Actually, what's really bothering me, I think? It's the attitude of these kids. They don't have any idea how fortunate they are to have access to this vaccination. My own parents haven't been able to get their own flu shots this year, and the kids are out there joking about it and, pretending to be scared and making fun of the whole situation.
No, I know the Department of Health has really been having having to make some real tough decisions about how they allocate supplies until they get more in. But if it's any consolation, this thing really does seem to be affecting younger people more than older people.
I know, but it doesn't stop me from worrying about my parents. If my elderly mother or father gets the flu, I don't know how I'm going to take care of them and also keep doing my job, taking care of everybody else.
No, that's true, but I've been hearing that a lot. But think about it. If you were their age, you'd have a very different understanding of what this is all about.
Yeah, that's fair. My own kids don't even get how serious it is.
Oh, I didn't even know you had kids.
I do, 2 in college, but they're in another state. So far, the flu hasn't really started spreading there yet, so that's good, but it's really hard not to worry about them.
So no wonder you're stressed. You're worried about your parents and you're worried about your kids.
And my partner's super worried about me. He didn't want me to come to work or come here today because he's afraid I'm going to get exposed. But, I told him I already got the vaccination. I'm worried about him because he hasn't been able to have access to it yet. So I guess I'm just worried about everything. What happens if this really spreads the way they're saying it might, and the hospital ends up getting flooded with a lot of people my own kids' age who are really sick and even dying. I don't think I could handle that. I've been doing this job a long time, but that's the one group I don't think I could see get in that situation.
Yeah, of course. But that's one of the reasons we're doing it here, since it does affect the kids, the students more.
Right.
That's why they set up the pod here.
That's true. That's a very good point. Thanks. Well, my break's over, so I guess I better get in there and protect some more students, huh?
I like that attitude. But seriously, think about whether you might, I could talk to somebody about, changing your shift, rotating your shift a little bit, because that might, ease up on some of the stress for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm just going to step outside, get some fresh air for a minute, and then I think I'll be fine to finish. I guess I just needed to vent about all of this.
If you need to talk later, I'll be around.
Okay, great. I will see
Okay.
you back out there.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Martine.
Take care.
So now that the role play has ended, I'll be giving feedback to Martine and Kathy using the Observer worksheet. So that was a good example of using PFA to support a fellow responder, which can be just as important as helping disaster survivors. Since you already knew each other, it was easy for you to make a connection. But Martine, I liked how you perceived her mood and asked for permission to join her and then gradually drew her out.
Yeah, I was really relieved when she said that I could sit down. You know, as soon as we started, I was struggling to figure out what I was going to do if she said no.
Unfortunately, she didn't. And she was willing to talk about what bothered her. But sometimes just sitting silently is what a client needs, so it can be hard to suppress that urge to fill up a silence with unhelpful chatter. Kathy, how did you feel about how she started the conversation?
It was great. I mean, she didn't let my saying I was fine repeatedly turn her away. She validated my immediate complaints about the heat in the room and the ungrateful students. And then she sort of used those as a way to open up to what my underlying concerns actually were, my deeper concerns about my family and the spread of the disease. So that was all really wonderful. You know, it wasn't like there was anything she could actually do about my concerns about my family, but she certainly provided that warmth and empathy and validation, which was really clearly what I needed at that moment.
Yeah, it was really good that you didn't make any unrealistic kind of promises. Either about being able to turn the heat down or Kathy's family. So that's a common mistake in PFA because we want to fix things so badly. But it can backfire when we can't follow through.
Yeah, no, I had to really struggle to rein myself in and not say everything's going to be okay because I could believe that it wasn't. So.
Right. So instead you let her vent and you validated her feelings and worries and empowered her by reminding her that she has the ability to help protect the students. So hopefully that PFA will keep you or her functioning throughout the outbreak.
Yeah.